Falcons. The boots inside this box are inspired by falcons. Like an actual falcon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the limited edition Adidas X Ghosted PF. The PF standing for Peregrine Falcon, at least that's how I think you say it, and it bears the normal $275 retail price, but of course looks absolutely insane. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering why falcons. Well, number one, it is a bit of a callback to the animal-themed Yamamoto boots that we've had over the years in the F50 series, and given that the X Ghosted is kind of the official reincarnation of Adidas F50, I guess that makes sense. And then number two, even though this looks like an eagle, it is technically a falcon, and according to what I read, a peregrine or peregrine falcon is the fastest or one of the fastest animals on the planet, which I guess makes sense given that this is a speed boot, but it also flies, which I'm not sure relates to it's kind of cheating if you can fly, right? I'm clearly not an animal expert, but I do know a fair amount about football boots. What we're gonna do in this video is take a closer look at all of the really cool and pretty intricate details that you have on this limited edition release and talk about what makes the X Ghosted Plus arguably the world's best laceless football boot, not just available right now, but possibly ever. We'll also take a look at how they fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around, watch the entire review, and if you are interested in a pair for yourself, as of right now, I'm not sure if this is going to change. This colorway is only available in Europe and it's only available on the top end X Ghosted Plus model. Normal retail price. If you are interested in some for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the review page on my website where there may or may not be some SR4U coupon codes, but there will definitely be links to get these boots if you're interested in a pair before they sell out. As always, if you guys do end up enjoying this video and want to see more limited edition boot reviews on the channel, don't forget to support this one with a like and let me know specifically what you'd like to see down below in the comment section. And of course, if you're new here watching for the first time and don't want to miss out on weekly content on everything football boots, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. As for the boots themselves, please feel free to leave your opinions on the way these look down below in the comment section, because they are definitely one of the most unique football boot releases of 2020 as the year comes to an end. What I think is really cool about this particular colorway is not just the fact that they look like an eagle slash falcon, and actually, for as weird as they are, they're not overly flashy, which is something that I'm kind of a big fan of, but I like the fact that the Adidas branding has been kept to a bare minimum. You can see there is a gold outline to the Adidas logo that's flipped upside down like you would normally find on an X Ghosted Plus right here. But other than that, you're not gonna find the standard Adidas stripes anywhere. And then there's another subtle gold Adidas X logo on the back of the heel. Other than that, all of the branding on the upper is not there like it normally would be. So you have a translucent base, very similar to the launch colorway. And then of course you have the falcon on the surface, which has some orange and yellow and red accents for the beak as well as its hands or talons. I'm not exactly sure what you would call that. And then all of the feathers are in multiple shades of gray with some dark black outlines. It really makes the detail pop on this particular graphic. And honestly, I think this is definitely one of the better animal themed boot releases that we've seen out of the Adi brand. They are the same both left and right for those that are wondering, so they're not mismatched or anything like that. And what's also cool is internally, the insole kind of just follows the same theme. If I pull it out, you can see you have all the feathers, the gold branding, and then it just eventually fades into white. The normal insole you would get with an X Ghosted Plus. And then the sole plate does of course have a wearable finish, a little bit of a fade going on, where it's kind of like this chrome, multicolor chrome, I guess is a better way of putting it, through the heel, heel counter, and midfoot, and it eventually fades into this really nice kind of orangey reddish pink color. Goes over top of the carbon fiber as well, but you can still see it peeking through depending on how the light hits it. Colorway aside, nothing is physically different about the construction of this limited edition colorway, which means that it's the same X Ghosted Plus boot that really has the ultimate barefoot feel out of pretty much anything out there right now. I would say even a little bit more so than the arguably better performing X Ghosted 0.1. And the reason why I say that is when you do eliminate the laces, on an upper this thin that wraps your foot this closely, it really does have the sensation of not wearing any football boots at all. So I think for what it gains in touch, it loses a little bit in terms of lockdown and responsiveness because of the laceless design. But in terms of the laceless design benefiting the overall experience of the football boot, this does that really well. And I can't say that about too many laceless football boots either currently available or all the ones that we've had pretty much over the last 4 years when laceless boots started to make a comeback. So the upper is made entirely from a material called Mirage Skin, which if you look really closely, it is there in translucent letters, which is kind of a cool little detail that they did sneak that graphic in despite the feather falcon design. Nonetheless, you can see in between the cracks, it is basically translucent and paper thin. It does have more of a plasticky sensation because I would definitely classify this under a synthetic rather than a knit, which is also very different from a lot of the speed boots that we've been getting basically since 2014 when the knitted uppers really became a really popular trend in the industry. But in general, if you're looking for that raw barefoot sensation, that very pingy feel with literally no extra padding whatsoever, you're getting that from this Mirage Skin upper that honestly doesn't feel that different from the Fluoro Skin upper found on the X Ghosted 0.1. And then across the top of the foot where you have the laceless system is basically the same synthetic material that is backed by some mesh that's all fused together, just to add a little bit of extra structure. There really isn't much stretch across the top of the foot, which means that putting these on can be a little bit tricky depending on the specific shape of your foot. But once it's on, they really did a good job of modifying the shape. And as long as your foot matches the shape of this boot pretty well, you're really gonna have this tight one-to-one fit that you expect from a top-end speed boot. And given that these retail for $275, they better fit pretty well. The boots also feature a low-cut design, which I think is ideal for a speed boot for the sake of minimizing bulk as well as weight. A little bit of a tail at the back, which has kind of become a signature of the X line, and a little bit of a callback to the OG F50 Adizero from 10 years ago. The heel liner is fantastic and also kept very minimal. You can see it's actually translucent in the middle of these two kind of heel pillows, and the lining material itself is kind of like a slightly reverse Velcro type sensation that actually does a pretty decent job of gripping your socks a little bit more than a standard just perfectly smooth material would do without feeling uncomfortable. You guys got to look at the removable insole, and then moving to the base of the boot, you're going to find their speed frame, which does feature an external heel counter that now has this kind of, I guess, grid type pattern that acts as a little bit of reinforcement, but it's still quite thin. You have that same design kind of flowing through the heel and midfoot to keep things nice and rigid. But really the highlight here is the Carbitex insert, which also allows for a slightly raised forefoot. So the sensation of standing in these boots is very different from every other football boot out there. I think that's something that Nike has done really well as of late with the last 2 generations of the Mercurial. That anatomic sole plate for me was a really big feature in the speed boot category, but I really feel like Adidas have definitely matched and arguably surpassed them with the responsiveness and just general feel that you get from this Carbitex insert. It's the first time I really do feel like carbon fiber has been implemented on a football boot to truly benefit the feel and performance of a football boot. This really does have that energy return that no other sole plate on the market, honestly, even comes close to. And then as far as the stud pattern goes, it's the same layout we've been getting from Adidas for the last decade, but the studs have definitely been modified to be a lot more aggressive. So it's more of a true bladed stud pattern versus what we've seen for the last little while. I don't think it's quite as aggressive as what you're gonna get from the Mercurial series, but if you're looking for that aggressive kind of dig into the ground any way that you turn type of feel, this definitely does a really good job of providing that type of sensation. Which brings us to the weight, where I definitely think it's a fair argument to make that there is some room for improvement, but at the same time, these still feel very light on your feet and also have a much more solid sensation than something like an older F50 Adizero model that was much more plasticky and much more flimsy in general. Nonetheless, I'm gonna weigh this for you in real time. This pair is a size 9.5 US, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.2 ounces, the equivalent of 204 grams. So they're pretty much in the same weight category as a lot of the top-end speed boots that are out there right now. The Mercs are a little bit lighter. The Puma Ultra 1.1, which would also be one of its main competitors, is significantly lighter. If you want that OG F50 Adizero lightweight feel, Puma Ultra is definitely the way to go. But if you're just looking for light boots with a very unique laceless barefoot sensation, this is by far your best option. So here are the Falcon boots on feet, and I personally think they look absolutely fantastic. I think what's cool about this colorway in particular is none of the colors used are very flashy. So from a distance, these are probably gonna look like either white or black boots, maybe a combination of the two. But obviously when you're up close on them, you see all of the details and they look absolutely insane. Very cool execution by Adidas in my opinion. Nonetheless, as far as how these fit and feel on feet, it's the same as any other X Ghosted Plus model. The laceless design and the vacuum fit that they're really pushing with this boot does make putting them on a little bit on the tricky side depending on the shape of your foot. I definitely don't think they're the hardest laceless boots to put on because the way that they cut this front part very, very low does give you a pretty large opening, so it's really not that big of a deal. And I think what's most important here is the way that they wrap your foot once you actually get them on feet, where I think they've adjusted the shape where this is by far their best attempt at a laceless speed boot. They fit my feet at least very well, but that is the thing to note about a lot of laceless football boots is that your mileage may vary depending on the specific shape of your foot. Getting the right size and really just having the right type of foot is critical to have a proper experience because there is of course no adjustability whatsoever. Like a lot of laceless boots, there is still that tendency where your heel wants to come out of the back of the boot. It's not truly locked in because there's nothing really forcing your foot down and back in the boots because there is no lacing system. But in general, all things considered, these fit extremely well. The Soleplate underfoot feels fantastic and they're actually quite comfortable as well, which is pretty surprising. You might have also noticed that I am wearing these with some white Pure Grip socks, which I think are a great thing to pair with laceless boots, especially if you want that little bit of extra lockdown and reduction of slippage inside the boot. They are the most affordable grip socks on the market, available in a wide variety of colors for just $14.99 a pair. If you're interested in trying some for yourself, the website to go to is puregripsocks.com. It's actually a 15% off sale right now until January 1st by using coupon code PURE15. So if you're interested in some, it's the first link down below. As far as width is concerned, they do of course have a tight fit as you'd expect a speed boot to have, but I definitely don't think that they're overly narrow. If you have really wide feet, probably not a great option for you. And then as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and the length is perfect. So if you're looking to order some for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, what I think is so good about the X Ghosted Plus is the unique experience that it has on offer. There's an argument to be made that this is currently a top 5 speed boot in today's very competitive speed boot market, but it is still a laceless boot. It lacks adjustability, and it is going to be a little bit behind pretty much everything with laces in the lockdown fit and responsiveness categories, which is a big part of what makes a speed boot feel like a speed boot. With that said, it's not bad in any of those categories, and it arguably makes up for it when it comes to just the purity of the barefoot touch provided because of this laceless design. The sole plate and stud pattern is top notch, and I think if you're a Falcon enthusiast specifically, you're gonna absolutely love these. It's certainly not a speed boot for everybody, and objectively, as I've said before, I think the X Ghosted Point 1 is arguably your best option if you're after an Adidas branded speed boot. But if you like laceless and you like something that is truly a unique experience, there really isn't anything else that fits, feels, or really performs quite like these boots. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in some of these limited edition boots, get them before they're gone. First link down below. Definitely go and check that out. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask them down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.